there's a lot to like about that Chiefs offense. If Mahomes stays healthy, there's no reason why they shouldn't be averaging 35 to 38 points a game because they're just that scary.
It's crazy that they won the Super Bowl last year, and that might go down as one of Mahomes' worst statistical years. Remember, he missed time. He
He had a serious injury, though.
Yeah, dude. Fuck, that game, I thought his season was over.
It was a Thursday night against Denver.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And they go 12-4. Right. Like,
they almost beat Green Bay. I remember
Matt Moore. Not a shout out to Impey. That's his guy. That's not a bad backup. But they were without two of their most valuable players for 6 games, right? They played 4 games without Tyreek Hill, and Mahomes missed some time. And you go 12-4, like, I think they had the 3rd worst fumble luck.
Wow.
So, like, that should improve just because historically. But I think this offense has potential to set, like, I might regret not picking. Like, I'm getting cute with my MVP pick. It's probably Mahomes again. Like, it's just...
He puts up those numbers, yeah.
And I think he's gonna, man. And I just don't...
The only question mark about this team is the secondary. Like, I really don't know their corners. It's a lot of question marks there. But with Thornhill and Honey Badger, that's a really good safety combo. So, and just with all the points they put up, it should... there should be a good balance there. And, good thing they got Chris Jones signed. I think Chris Jones, like, top 5 interior tackle. Frank Clark had a strong playoffs even after a somewhat quiet year by his standards. So, there's enough defensively where you could be encouraged by it. I'm just excited to see that offense fully healthy. I think everyone wants to see everyone 100% because if they are 100%, they're gonna light people up. Like, they should probably put a 40 burger on the Texans.
Yeah, I mean, they did in the playoffs too, right?
Yeah, and they were down 24-0.
Yeah. Shit, talk about a team with so much firepower, man. Like, you know how with the Ravens, I always joke around of the way you can stop Lamar Jackson is get a 10-point lead. Like with the Chiefs, maybe you don't want to get a lead on them because that's
when play 4 quarters.
But it just seems like Kansas City. What's wild is this is the least prepared I was for a team in the AFC. Like, I just think it's very simple with them.
Straight to the point, yeah.
Like, 12 I think they're gonna be New England moving forward. Like, if Mahomes plays 16 games, I can't see them losing more than 12, winning less than 12 games. Like, that's just going to be the new standard. That's the new norm.
They also got some fun matches because they're playing the NFC South this year. So you get to see them against New Orleans, Tampa. If you want to put Atlanta in there, fine. But they got some fun matches. And, of course, they got the first place schedule, so we'll see them against the likes of Baltimore and New England. Like Mahomes and Cam on the same field. That's going to be wild. So
plus 143 in net points. Surprisingly, 3 losses at home last year.
Yeah, they had the weird Colts game that comes to mind. Who else they lose? Who else they lose to?
They lost to Tennessee. Mahomes' first game back.
That was in Tennessee.
Yeah, right.
They lost to Green Bay, which they could have won.
Yeah.
Then again, they almost lost to Minnesota, but they pulled it out. That was a really good game.
Last thing with the Chiefs that I find really interesting.
Oh, they lost to Houston by way at home.
That's right.
Yeah, I know you were really into that game.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I think they're my 2 favorite quarterbacks in the league.
Okay, I'm shocked because I know you love Russ a lot.
Yeah. But Watson and Mahomes. Look, man, I just think it's very simple with them, and I think that they're gonna make noise. And now they got a running back that they like too. So I'm going 12-4. They, Allen, are my 1 seed.
Okay.
I'm fascinated by this division. I don't have another playoff team in this division. Do you?
Me neither, no.
Okay, I have the Broncos at 9-7. My concerns with Denver. I'll start off with the concerns. They went 4-1 in the last 5 games of the year with Drew Lock coming in. Against Kansas City was his worst game of the year, but that was also like a blizzard. That was a weird ass game in Kansas City. Remember that shit? It was a fantasy playoff matchup there. I'm optimistic about him and their offense. I think last year's Cleveland Browns this year.
Wait, you compare Cleveland to Denver?
Yeah. Remember, so I
don't think Denver's getting anywhere near the hype. That's what I'm confused about.
Okay. I've been hearing a lot of people saying that they're a playoff team. They're like they're the most heavily wagered to make the playoff team bets in the sports books.
I think people really talked about Cleveland though being like a legit threat, like they could win a playoff game or two. I don't think anyone's talking about Denver.
That's very fair. Yeah. That's very fair. So I should push back on that.
They're a bit of a trendy pick, but
pick, yeah. Because there's always teams that don't make the playoffs that might make the playoffs the year after, and Denver I think is one of the more
AFC's
popular
wide
ones.
open.
I'm worried about their offensive tackle situation. In that sense, seeing a lot of similarities to the Cleveland Browns last year, right? Like, think about it. Drew Lock comes in, they go 4-1. Baker came in with the Browns, and there was all that optimism. A lot of weapons, right? Sutton, Melvin Gordon, Fant, Hamler, who I love coming out of Penn State. Jerry Jeudy, I still think is the best wide receiver coming out of that draft. But I'm worried about the offensive tackle situation with the COVID stuff. Jawan James sitting out. I think that's very, very big for them.
I don't know how Garrett Bowles is. You want to talk about being a first-round pick is such a luxury. Like, you'd be terrible for 3 years, but it's like, okay, we'll give you one more chance. Even you could lead the league in the holding. It doesn't even matter.
Bro, when you're a first-round pick, you're going to get opportunity after opportunity because teams are going to sell themselves on the idea that you were a first-round pick.
Especially when you have John Elway, who will back his first rounders any way he can because his draft history is just so bad.
You know, we talked before about the Steelers and the Lions, and you poked fun at the Bears of having awful QB play. Man, you can make a strong case that between
Joe Flacco's corpse last year, Brandon Allen,
public perception is that it's an upgrade, but it's something that's leaving me more intrigued in what's good than being interested in them as a team.
Right. I'm excited about Denver. It's just there's a little instability offensively that would concern me, but there's a lot to like about this roster. Again, the likes of Jarrell Casey in there was big, and healthy Bradley Chubb and Von Miller. Hopefully, I don't know. Von Miller had a very quiet year by his standards. I think he's bound to explode. I know he's getting older now, but it's still Von Miller.
I agree with you. I think we still have one monster Von Miller year left,
and AJ Boy is still solid. So there are a lot of moving pieces there. I think it's just a matter of not just the offense, but I think the defense. They underachieved last year. I think they need to be more. Considering the talent they have, they should be a top 10 defense. They should take more of the threshold because remember at one point last year, I think it was like first 3 games they had no sacks, and it's like, man, Vic Fangio, he's supposed to be one of these like best defensive minds in the league. What's going on? So I don't think all the pressure's on the offense. I think the defense, they need to really establish themselves as at least a top 10 unit minimum.
Denver is the only team in the NFL, Allen, that has an actual built-in home field advantage
in September. Yeah.
Well, just in general, more so in September. I know I've told you this before, but without fans, like they actually are the only team in the league early in the year that have a built-in home field advantage. Right? Pittsburgh, New England, Green Bay later on in the year when like snow comes in and whatnot, and you get a Jacksonville or Miami, the hot team, hot weather climate team going up north. I get that. But the high altitude, Denver is the only team with an actual home field advantage without fans. And their record in September is historically great. You're talking about a 75% ATS record. You're talking about a team that wins close to 82% of their games at home in September. And the theory behind that is, you're coming in off the preseason. Now you don't have a preseason. So I think that's going to be even a bigger advantage for the Denver Broncos because guys aren't in game shape. Betting the Broncos second half, I think that's something that you should look at. Second half of games early on. So I got the Broncos at 9-7. I'm waiting. Like I said, I'm more intrigued with their potential than I am interested in this team. Like I want to wait and see approach. Chargers, I have 7-9.
That Derwin James news hit the soul.
Yo, is Derwin James gonna go down as a player where we're gonna look back and say, man, I wish he stayed healthy? This is back-to-back years now, bro.
Probably.
Did you watch? Are you watching Hard Knocks at all this year? But did you watch the clip that went viral of him like, yo, I want Key.
Yeah.
I want Key. And he's lining up against Keenan Allen, who I think is one of the more elite wide receivers out the slot. And he's like checking him.
I don't think there's a more versatile defensive player than Derwin James in the league. Like, he played a big part in how they limited Lamar in that playoff game. People forget. Like, the Chargers played no linebackers in that game. It was pretty much like just they played dime the whole game, and Derwin was basically their only linebacker. So, yeah, he's just a massive loss. I know they got Chris Harris, who I've always been a massive fan of, and Casey Hayward's still a top corner, but it's hard to replace that versatility. Someone, Derwin James, that you could use as a blitzer. Like, he's kind of like Jamal Adams, but better cover guy, pretty much.
The Chargers were one of the most unlucky teams in 2019, and I think that's something you could put on their cover letter as
Yeah.
describing them as a
They're
franchise.
cursed. They find ways to lose.
They were minus 17 in turnover margin, tied for last in the league. Phillip Rivers had 20 interceptions. Third worst injury luck, which again, like year in, year out, that should pivot in one direction or the other. But this is constantly the issue. We opened up with Derwin James. They had the worst fumble luck in the league. 3.5 of their wins were lost by 1-score games. 2-9 record in 1-score games. The year before went 7-1. Chargers are a prime example of a team who in 2018 7-1 in 1-score games. And that's why I was so pissed off that I picked them as a wild card team. I should have seen that. Mm-hmm. It's something that I'm super passionate about. And then you saw it last year, like they go 2-9. Yeah. The ball's not always gonna go in your favor. Now you got Tyrod Taylor and you got Justin Herbert over there. I don't know what to make of either of those guys. Their offense last year actually outgained opponents. One of the few teams that had a below 500 record that outgained opponents on offense. But they kind of always underperform based off like their win totals. And this is the ultimate like better than their record franchise.
And I just don't know what their offensive identity is. I think they're going to try to be run first, but this is a team that is not really built to be run first. So you have guys like Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Hunter Henry. These are huge weapons. They should be getting targets 8 to 10, 12 a game. But I think with Tyrod there, there's limitations. And I know Anthony Lincoln wants to run the ball, but look, I love Austin Eckler, but he's not someone that's going to be running the ball 18 to 20 times a game, and they don't have much back. Maybe Justin Jackson develops into something, but I just think they're kind of going to be a run-first team when in reality they should be a pass-first team. Like I don't know what their offensive identity is going to be like. They have a lot of great pieces defensively, but they always somehow find a way to underachieve there. I don't know if it's schematically with Gus Bradley. Is he even still there? Let me check. I believe he's still there. Yeah, he's still there. That whole Seattle system's kind of faded now. So, like, they have a lot of good talent there, but it's always the case with the Chargers. Just you have to lower expectations because things just never come together. And now, if anything else, it's just I don't know what they're going to look like offensively. There's a lot of question marks there. And, when does Justin Herbert see the field? That's another thing you have to take in mind.
Las Vegas Raiders. Outscored by opponents by 100 points last year. I think they overachieved, getting to the record that they had. Last year, as the Oakland Raiders, they went 7-9. They surpassed their win total. They had the whole Antonio Brown fiasco and whatnot. They might have a built-in home field advantage with them being in Vegas. Listen, Vegas is a Cowboy Rager, man. I wouldn't be surprised if...
Yeah, in 2021, when Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback.
Yeah, that'd be pretty far.
It's gonna happen. I think it's really gonna happen.
Is that your take?
I have one hot take. That would be. I just think Green Bay's gonna be tired of Aaron Rodgers. And what's the home? You just know John Gruden's gonna pull a trigger because it's been known for years. Like he does not care for Derek Carr. Derek Carr is the most conservative QB in the league. It's just he's tired of him. Maybe they'll give Mariota a few chances, but Mariota is just consistently underachieved. He's not a quarterback, doesn't take a lot of chances. I just think Gruden's kind of fed up. He's just trying to coast his time, build a roster with emerging young talent. I think he's done a decent job of it, albeit there's been some bad contracts and bad decisions. But they're still transitioning the Raiders. It's another year of wait and see for me.
They're going from the 12th easiest schedule in the league to now the third toughest in 2020. And yeah, I'm not that high on the Vegas Raiders this year. So my predictions for this division, records, I should say.
Damn, we're giving them we're not giving any love to Raiders.
I got them at 4-12, bro. What do you want to?
Well, you're not excited about any players like Ruggs is there.
I think Ruggs now.
Edwards is emerging. They have a really good O-line.
With Terrell Williams now being out for the year, I'm excited to see Henry Ruggs there. I think he has something to prove, being the first wide receiver taken in the draft. I love me some Hunter Renfrow. You know how I feel about the short, undersized, dad bod slot wide receiver, and he fits the mold. And I think he's gonna be a guy that can have a long career in the league because he's gonna be productive coming out of the slot. But dude, my bad. Like Josh Jacobs, that's cool. I guess
he's damn good.
Yeah, he's good.
He's damn good.
How much is he gonna be playing? Are they gonna be behind a lot? Like last
year. That's what I saw last year, but they're competitive in some grades. I wouldn't underestimate John Gruden. I'm not saying the Raiders are gonna be a playoff team, but I do think between Gruden's coach job and they have started to bring some young talent in. I thought Max Crosby looked really good last year. They got Littleton, Maurice Hurst, who fell. He was supposed to be a first round pick, fell to the fifth round. He's been productive in the league. Malik Collins was really good in Dallas last year. They got him in. So there's some piece right here. I don't know why they signed Jason Witten. I just, leadership. God bless. I don't know, but I think Raiders will be competitive. I don't expect anything. Like, I think they definitely overachieved last year, but I think there's enough reasons they're kind of watchable, I guess you could say.
Give me the records in the division for this one.
I got Chiefs 12-4, Broncos 8-8, Chargers 7-9, Raiders 5-11.
Wow, we're very close. 12-4 Chiefs, 9-7 Broncos, 7-9 Chargers, Raiders 4-12.